So why are you failing with girls? In this video, I'm going to give you insight from the best dating coach on the planet. I would break down why you are currently failing when meeting girls and the pro tip to overcome that. But before I do it, let me tell you what is the typical mindset client that we're getting on our bootcamp. And in this case, I can describe exactly how our client came this weekend, because I'm just finishing up this bootcamp, and I can tell you, on Friday, everybody came on this bootcamp with millions of excuses. I could spot an excuse at the pre-brief on Friday from every single one of them, and including myself. So winners find a way, losers find excuses. I either find a way or make one. That's a great quote from Hannibal, like a book that I read like many years ago. And you can also look up like Brian Tracy, like the book No Excuse. So they need really, like our client need to self-reflect on the No Excuse book, like taking total responsibility. Stop blaming circumstances of people, timing. Everything starts with owning and ownership on your own action. And the number 2 point that is making in the book, No Excuse, is self-discipline. You have to realize that you're getting tons of emotion, so do it anyway. Success comes from acting despite discomfort, laziness, or fear most of the times on our bootcamp, live bootcamp. So going from there, I'm thinking, if I was a student myself, like Friday, I would prefer my coach yelling at me for doing like stupid shit versus being afraid of taking action. Or worse, leave and not even like seeing what I'm supposed to see for inspiration. Overall, those guys probably open on the first night at least maybe less than 10 girls in one night, where they had the real opportunity to open maybe 50 or even more before like real like pool time. So we're getting like this like first night, which is made to be confusing for them a little bit, and we see what is the baseline. And it starts there, like they have so many excuses for not approaching, and they get like a really poor throughput, like in a engineering world, like engineer who like building like product, they know like the throughput, and it's really poor, it's not efficient. So that's how they come. They come really to this mindset that is extremely poor, and now we have to change that. And the way we do that is always the same way. They need to realize that they're getting the result of their own action. And it's a little bit tough, but we are like tough coach. And I really like tell them straight up, like some of them were a little bit older, and that's what I had to tell him. So Paul came, and he didn't go out like for 10 years. He came on the bootcamp many years ago, and he kind of let all that passing back in the RSD time with Jeff. And now we're 10 years after, and honestly, he's really rusty. But the more important, his mindset is terrible. He doesn't really believe anymore that you can do those things. So we had to just like sit down with him, and actually the biggest things was like seeing me polling on like Saturday. It was actually Friday. Friday I pulled like this really hot like girl from Peru, and now they see it. And that's the beauty of the bootcamp, and that's really, for me as a client, when I came the first time, I was really paying attention to what the instructor were doing when they were polling, and I would stay late. I would try my best to really see that from my own eyes, because inspiration, it's like everything, man. Like when you're getting inspired of like doing something that you can actually do it, but because I really believe they all can do the same thing. Me and Jeff are not built from a different cloth. We just human being with emotion, and we quite actually like suck when we go in the club the first like set. We get rejected like anybody else, and we just laugh about it like so hard. So they see it's real. They see like normal guy like Bryce, engineer, very logical, can do these things. And they also see that what I'm teaching is exactly what I'm implementing. When I say keep fucking talking during the pool, I do exactly that. Like, I happened to pull another girl like tonight. We went day gaming, obviously with the client, maximizing Las Vegas. And at some point, I'm like, okay, I think I've seen enough. Time for me to do a little demo. And it's actually funny because one client were like not having a great session, day game. He did a lot better throughout the weekend, but during the day game, he was in his head, very logical, and he's like, man, I can't really having fun here. We at the mall. I mean, it's Las Vegas. Who would not like go like day gaming in Vegas, talking to pretty girl? I don't get it. But anyway, he had to fly the next day at 5 a.m. And I'm like, he sent a text saying that he was leaving. I think it was around like 7 p.m. And check this out. I reply in the chat that we have, why? Why do you leave at 7 p.m.? You're flying at 5 a.m. in the next day. You could pull 2-3 times during this time. You got plenty time. And guess what happened? 30 minutes after, at 7:35, Jeff sent in the text, Bryce just pulled another one, second one of the weekend. So I think they realize it's not like something you can make it up. They realize you can do those things if you want. Like same night pool, clothes, the girl that you like, wherever like you enjoy, that's not like really me to judge on what kind of girl do you like, whatever. But at least you can do those things very, very quickly. You don't have to go and talk to a girl in your social circle, all that. I mean, that's pretty depressing. Every time I hear like their mindset is so poor in terms of what they can do. And it's quite exciting for me to actually open their eyes to the idea that, yes, I do this on every single weekend. And it's just great to see like the change throughout the weekend. I just love it because now we are Sunday and one client actually got laid. He was like pulling a 2 set. I mean, it was a bigger set, but they were having some logistical issue with another like student last night in the casino after excess. And turned out that he went back today. She texted her because the logistics were not ideal when you have like all those girls like in a bachelor. It's not like ideal. He went back and closed the girl. It was a little exotic place where he closed her, but still, I'm really proud. And another one made out. We were doing like a little make out contest. I promised that I was gonna give them like a shorty shirt if they would win more make out than me or everybody, and I will. But and we have another one also who was extremely beginner, but the mindset was even like lower. And he realized that when he was getting pushed, I pushed him a lot last Saturday to go in longer set, and always being in set. He realized that girl would ask him to make out with him. And those are not like, just random girl that you find, like at the supermarket, kind of gross. Like we in excess, and this guy's never done that. He's struggling like to approach. And after like maybe an hour with us, he started having girls like telling him that they want to, before leaving, they want to make out with him. For him, I can see in his eye, it's just like shock and surprise. And that's really, to me, like the biggest win, because when you change your mindset on that and you can see that there's no limitation of what you can do. I don't have limitation of what I can do. If right now I want like to go back, and I probably will go back and pull a third girl this weekend, I can. The only commodity that you have today is your time. So how are you gonna utilize your time? Are you gonna stay at home watching my YouTube video, or are you gonna decide to really change your life and come on a bootcamp maybe and turn that around? Who knows? What kind of life would you get like if you were like changing this area of your life? Maybe more confident, maybe you would have like a better communication, maybe you would be more funny, maybe you would be probably reading a room better, you would be able to like interact in tougher pressure, social pressure a lot better, and that's something that you can really utilize in other area of your lives. So I think this is just the tip of the iceberg, you know, like having success with, let's say, a few girls like in Las Vegas, that's great, but there's a lot that's happening beyond that, and I'm just happy to see this change occurring on one weekend. I just love it because that makes me like very happy for them, obviously, but also knowing that those guys deserve it because those guys clearly took action during the weekend, and that's really the lesson like Brian Tracy talks about. Whatever is your emotion, you gotta continuing taking action. So hope you enjoy the content. I'm gonna take like a slight break and probably go out, maybe going to who knows, Omnia or Jewel, like some place here, and pull a third one. But until next time, it was Bryce. Peace.